Clash Royale.
Welcome back, guys, to the SPL. We are stuck in the midst of the telecom wars here, day number 1, and it's going a little bit against what I thought it was going to be. KT is up right now 3-1 over SKT with only one more game to win, and they win the whole day.
Yeah, and that last game between Trust and Impact was the boppening, man. He walked into his base with Dark Templars, and Impact is just like, huh, no detection. And then he GG'd shortly thereafter. But now we get to go to what some could consider the marquee matchup of tonight's games, Zest versus Dark. And while neither one of their arrows are in the upward direction, at least Dark's is going somewhat sideways.
It's not very often that you get to see someone who is considered the best player slash best Protoss player in the world versus the best Zerg player in the world to go head to head in the best of 1. That time is tonight, guys. So you guys should tell your friends to get into this
and to check out this sick intro video.
So let's see what this video has in store for us.
This video.
저희 4명이 왜 도대체 이곳에 모인 거죠?
드디어 올 것이 왔습니다. 벌써 1년이 지나버렸어요.
아, 그렇습니다. 대망의 통합 결승전이 얼마 남지 않았습니다.
의미를 장식한.
벌써 1년이 지났네요.
그런데 왜 여기 상암동에 모인 거예요, 도대체?
근데 왜 오빠들은 항상 모르세요?
왜 우리한테는 안 알려줘? 우리 정보가 늦어.
나만 특별한가 봐.
그런가 봐.
이영경 씨는 어딘지 아는 것 같은데 좀 알려주세요.
궁금합니다.
네.
네.
자, 프로리그 통합 결승전 장소는 바로 이곳입니다.
여기?
좋죠?
말이 되는 소리래. 지금 여기 고추장자리랑 개미떼밖에 없구만.
아무것도 없는데?
가발 제대로 알려줘요. 어디입니까?
제대로 알려드려요?
네.
2016 SK텔레콤 스타크래프트 프로리그
어!
통합 결승전
예!
장소는
이유! 바로!
마지막 날 공개됩니다.
아, 뭐야!
낚였어.
So there you have it.
So close to
They've told
finding
us
out.
absolutely nothing again.
That is true. In case you guys didn't know what was going on there, yeah, we're so close to finding out where the location of the Pro League Finals are. They got super close telling us, and then they're like, well, we'll reveal it on the last day of Pro League.
Yeah. So I guess if KT wins tonight and they win tomorrow, let's just say, hypothetically, we'll probably reveal it at the end of that day. If we do go to Tuesday, then we'll reveal it at the end of that day as well, at the end of those matches. So you guys will soon find out where the grand finals of Pro League for 2016 location, where it's going to be held. And we're not going to spoil it until then. So
that's right. I actually just want to find out myself, but I also want to find out the result of this matchup right now. It's actually one of the best matches, not only just in StarCraft, but also here tonight. And at least when you look at their win rate so far this season, it's pretty insane. But head-to-head, Zest definitely on top.
yeah, Zest winning here 11-7 overall. Dark was doing very well in Pro League until the last round. You know, part of SKT's woes is that Dark just wasn't doing as well. Still, though, because of, you know, how poorly Zest has performed over the last couple of weeks, we do vote for Dark here. It is on Frost as well, so it's going to be a big map for this PVZ.
That is true. Frost's biggest map in the map pool, and exciting to see what kind of games come out on there, and especially in this this matchup, because it's a bigger map. You can do all kinds of cool things. It might have a long game, might have a short game, but we're going to have a game, Brendan, right here. Game number 5, Zest versus Dark.
Up here in the top left in the red, the Protoss player, he is the best. It is Zest.
Playing there for KT Rolster, and over in the upper right-hand corner, we certainly hope that he is not afraid of the dark. playing, of course, for SK Telecom. Now, here comes out the wiliest scouting probe you've ever seen. Would be a little bit early if he scouts the right direction, but of course he is going for the scenic route all over Frost, which ironically enough is mostly green.
It's got some snow in there, you know, some stuff like that. I think he's talking about the most handsome man, something like that, is Zest. Yeah, the most handsome Zest. Okay.
Yeah, I was getting my hopes up there for a second.
So it's an adjective. Most handsome Zest. And
every time I peel oranges and add that to whatever I'm making, I think that's the most handsome Zest. But little did I know that in fact, we are witnessing that here tonight. It's going to be a relatively fast expansion here for Zest. At least he should be dropping that down pretty quickly, and that'll put him economically on par.
And
at least for now.
If Wolf were here, he would be saying something about how he doesn't like 4-player maps, because I like the early scout from Zest. It's, you know, he's not really scouting for an early pool here from Dark, but if he scouted Dark first, let's say he went to the top right first, and he blocked the hatchery on a map like this where the Zerg is almost definitely going to be going hatch first, he would get so far ahead. He could block it. Zest has done it so many times before. He blocks the hatchery, he makes a pylon, and the third base is going to go down. See, if he had scouted first, this is a totally different game, you know?
Exactly. He could have not only blocked the second, or the natural, but also could have blocked the third there if he had just been a teeny tiny bit faster. But either way, he's going to get a full scout of the main. Big maps, very economical openers, of course, and so no big surprises here for Zest to see. We're going to have this delayed Overlord scout here as well coming in for Dark, and he will see that in fact everything looks completely normal for both players.
Yeah, we'll see how much work Zest does want to get down here, because he does eventually scout where Zest, or rather where Dark is, so he knows that they are at close positions. A pretty early Twilight Council as well, so I mean, Zest, he practices a lot with Trust. Now this is a different map, this is not King Sejong Station. You know, maybe the rush is going to be a little bit less effective because it is a bigger map, but you can still get a lot of damage done with Glaives. I'm not saying he's 100% going to do it here. Definitely an option that he is opening up with that Twilight Council path.
Oh, wow, I actually could have kept that Shade moving forward and tried to snipe off that Zergling, but instead ran out of his stamina meter. He's running across the map and had to take a little bit of a break there. Not as many early lings as we have seen in past PBZs, but at least this time around not enough to get really abused by this early adept pressure. And of course this is just for scouting, trying to see what there is to see, and of course nothing really being revealed on either side just yet.
A very clean scout. I like the timing of that, actually. He's going to run away now because he knows the speed is finishing up here in just a bit. This Overlord should get the scout just because the build that Zest is going for does not allow for a stalker this early on. So we'll have the Mothership Core, but even if he tried to overcharge to kill the Overlord, he probably wouldn't kill it, but also the scout has already gotten down.
Yep.
So,
and he's about to hit Overlord speed here. Right there it is kicking in. So he'll be able to see everything there is to see inside the Protoss base, at least for the time being. And currently I'm actually just like really surprised by how completely uneventful, that's the code word for boring, this game has been so far. But it's actually nice to just see two of the best players here tonight getting a chance to set things up perfectly. So this is like when you're playing that game of chess, because you guys are super cool and you all play chess, where you get all of your pawns in like the right position, you have exactly the early trades that you want, and you just get to set things up, and then you find out who is the Magnus Carlsen of the world and who is the me of the world, who is definitely not super great.
Yeah, you know, a bunch of the casters out here started playing chess once again. This is a thing in the past that we did before you actually came out here, but we started again. I haven't gotten on the boat just yet, but I know that Tasteless Artosis.
Yeah, I just lost 2 games
Wolf
to Tasteless.
Okay, so you're playing now.
Yeah,
too. I might have to join you guys.
He beat me with DreamHack Montreal. It was pretty sad there for a minute.
No.
But all right, we are starting to see some Adeptorinos shade in and out. They're nothing too eventful. They do get 3 drones.
You can see the difference in this game compared to the King Sejong game too, where Zest knows that he's not really going to be able to do much damage against Dark, but Dark does a great response to it too. He gets the roaches and he plays it very safe because he knows he can go into a later game and you know he's going to be confident there. So Zest, seeing that, he's like, okay, I'll take an earlier third base. Now really the onus is on Dark to make a move here. Where's the 4th base? Where's the next tech, right? That's what we're looking for here from Dark. It looks like he wants to play it pretty safe, make sure he saturates all 3 bases first. He's going to commit to some drops as well.
Okay, well, the Warp Prism coming in here, being decently annoying, but great positioning on Dark, or by Dark on his units. I've made sure to limit that. Now, here comes in a drop from Dark as well. We'll see how much of this can get done. The third base actually, thankfully, thrown a little bit down to the south. See, drop versus drop. Who's going to be more effective? No drones being taken down just yet as that Warp Prism runs around, but see how well. Oh, the army of Zest actually moving out, not in the main, and here come in these speedlings funneling right into the mineral line. Gonna actually start to get quite a few probes here. 6 going down so far, and no overcharge, but this push from Zest could just be so hard for Dark to deal with.
He's only got Lings and Roaches, and look at how many sentries on the mix. He's gonna hold eventually back at home, but now he can force through the ramp, and he's gonna get onto that natural now.
Oh my god.
What is the response here from Dark? He doesn't have enough.
A Guardian Shield coming up here as well. Even with those corrosive biles raining down from on high, that's still just not going to be enough. And although it actually looks like he is starting to thin out this Zerg army. You just look at the army count, it's actually pretty even, but the force field on the ramp keeps those Ravagers from being able to fight.
Finally, he moves away from the corrosive biles. He actually misses that force field here.
Wow.
And he needs to get some more units into position to fight these Ravagers on the ramp. Oh, look at that, another huge hit.
Oh my god.
Zest is actually taking a ton of losses now.
Wow, yeah, that's actually just bad micro not moving his units around there, and Zest is actually going to lose his entire army, or at least he might here. Yeah, there's just too much Zerg, and while, yes, he did kill 22 workers, Dark holds on.
Dark just barely holds on, and
he's only down by 7 workers, too.
Perhaps if he was focusing a little bit more on microing his sentries, he could have held on for much longer, got more force fields on the ramp, but he was also dealing with the Lings back in his main. He was kind of in 2 places at the same time, and you can see how that push really hurt from that, the counter harass that Dark went for. A lesser Zerg, maybe he keeps those 8 Lings in the defense, and they're not going to help nearly as much as the amount of damage that they got at the Protoss base.
We actually just finished watching a lesser Zerg not be able to deal with pressure like that. This time around, we're watching Dark just know exactly how much to put wherever he needs it, and able to defend adequately up until now. Now, those are not Banelings, they're Roaches in that Overlord, ready to drop.
Now, who came out at the end of it all ahead? I think it was Dark, just because he still has a very strong army, but he still needs to kill Zest here.
Well, he is actually behind in workers, but he's not building any drones.
He's going all in.
He's actually just going to bop this nerd. He's got the Roach drop in the main there. He's able to target down these pylons there at the third base. Enough Stalkers and Immortals there, but here come these Roaches. Now, Roaches do fire relatively slowly, so we'll actually see how well this harassment on both sides gets to do, as there are a few Adepts being warped in at Dark's third base. But so much Zerg pushing forward. That Immortal getting sniped, and nothing but Stalkers here to defend, along with a couple of overcharges.
He needed to keep that Immortal alive. The Warp Prism is not here to help him keep that alive, and now it's only Stalkers without Blink trying to micro against Lings, Roaches, Ravagers. He may have to give up that third base here because he's certainly not going to hold it.
I'll tell you what, Brendan, you are a terrible Stalker if you're outnumbered and trying to fight Roaches. I was meaning that literally, but it actually just sounded great either way. This third base is going to get taken down, even if Dark loses. Okay, well, if he loses this entire army, then obviously he'd be behind, but he's not going to. He takes out the third base, and now it is a very, very injured Zest there, trying to keep SK Telecom's Pro League hopes alive.
This game is just so close. It's really, really back and forth. Now trying to snipe a Queen. Zest, great micro there, is going to keep it alive. And I think that was a good idea by Zest. He was never going to hold that third base, and had he fought out there, he might have just lost the game. I think it's better to play from a semi-deficit. He's got a decent army here against what the Zerg has. He knows that Dark overcommitted to units too, and that his economy is going to be in shambles. And he's still out there on the map with that Warp Prism trying to harass. So if he can slowly take his third base up once again, we may just have an even game coming out of the ashes of what was the beginning of this game.
Yeah, every time I have to pull a game out of the ashes, I'm always a little bit skeptical. It's like, well, am I just so good that I can come back from this? Or do I believe that there's maybe a weakness that my opponent has that I can exploit to my benefit? Well, the weakness is that Zest has been trying to exploit all of this harassment, even that big push up into the third base didn't actually work for Zest. He didn't kill Dark off, and now Dark, he's not expanding. He's not even building that many more drones. He's still just on even drones, but he actually has this gigantic army that Zest might not be able to deal with.
He has a lot of lings here, which is really going to be key in this fight. He needs to get on top of them.
Nice
Pretty good
force fields.
Yeah. Has to back up, though, and this is what I was talking about. The lings get in, and they're doing a ton of tanking here for the Roaches and the Ravagers in the back.
Yeah, Corrosive Bile being used the way David Kim intended to break those force fields, and now the Immortals in the front dropping low. There is way too much Zerg here right in front of Zest Natural, and with one and soon to be no more Immortals left, GG is called. The darkest of timelines here upon us. Brendan Valdez.
For Zest, for sure, for KT as well. Darky keeps their hopes alive, and he's going to give Innovation a chance to keep his team alive as well here towards the end.
Dark back up against the wall, able to bring it back, and that will take us to at least one more game here in our series tonight. Wow, just what a game. You did, in fact, vote correctly for Dark,
as did we all.
along with literally everyone else. So I'm just going to pretend like I voted because my name wasn't up there, but still just really exciting to see this series go so deep into the series. It's not a 4-0. These are both incredibly good teams. You're really just starting to see why.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see the little things that Dark did right in that series. That one drop of 8 Zerglings got like 20 probes in damage, which is just insane. He was controlling that while defending at home, just barely hanging on. You know, even though both players took a lot of losses, Dark came ahead just slightly in every trade that these guys had. I love that killer instinct too, where it's like, okay, now I'm alive, I've held off the push. Do I just build up my economy and take a 4th base? No, I'm just going to go kill him. Because we're closer spawns on Frost, and his tech is kind of like he has Resonating Blaze, that's his tech. But I have so many Roaches and Ravagers that he cannot go into a depth, so he has to make these blinkless Stalkers and like 1 or 2 Immortals at a time. He's not going to have enough gas to get a lot of sentries as well.
Exactly.
When Dark, he saw blood in the water, he sees all that, thinks about that, he's like, I can kill him right now. And even though it took 2 pushes, he did it eventually.
Yeah, man, if Dark had a favorite band, it would be Kill Switch Engage. He was able to get in there and just know that he had just enough economy, maybe not as much as he wanted, but he had enough to just hit that the kill button and go in for it. Now we get a chance to see Lucira versus Innovation. And you know, if I was a Zerg player, I would not put the word pretty close to lose in my name, but he's been winning a lot lately. And besides winning in video games, he's been winning in real life because he's been injecting that Zest serum into his veins.
He's been hitting the gym.
Actually the buffest nerd alive right now. It is so scary.
Drinking that corrosive bile. He's getting those roach muscles, you know.
Don't drink corrosive bile at home, guys. That is not a recipe for success. Brendan is the guy that your parents always warned you about. It's like, hey man, come drink this corrosive bile.
It's pretty delicious. It feels good.
No way.
That's all I'm saying, you know. No, but he's got a huge game ahead of him, okay? Like, let's be real. Lucira, he hasn't played all that many games. He's poked his head in here or there. He's taken 1 or 2, you know, close wins. But he's up against Innovation. Innovation, another one of these guys on SKT that's really turning it up, a lot like Classic. They're really just trying to get in there and support Dark, who was doing all the heavy lifting for so long. And I'm really favoring Innovation here. I think we're probably going to go to an ace match from here.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we were, and then we might get either like a rematch of Dark versus Zest, or possibly see maybe some more snipers out there as well.
It would be fun because it's New Gettysburg, so Zergs, Protosses probably going to be coming out on that one. It could be Zest versus Dark again, just like you're saying. It could be Stats maybe instead. I feel like Stats is doing a little bit better than Zest right now overall. And on the other side, I think Dark is always your go-to ace player, right? So maybe KT wants to try to snipe him out. Maybe it's Stats, maybe it's TY, you know?
I mean, we saw them bring out, Myungshik in game number 1, a guy that we haven't really seen all season long. Got that first win for him, and it was like, okay, well, this guy can come out into Pro League and win, contrary to his previous 3 experiences in pro leagues. So maybe they've got some super secret sniper in there for the end, but most likely we will be seeing some of these big names for both of these teams if we actually make it that long. Now, I mean, Innovation's been a monster for a long time, but recently, like you said, it's been Dark putting on his carry pants. So will Innovation be able to get SKT there to the ace match? That's the question that we have here before us, along with why hasn't the game started?
Yeah, there's that question looming around everybody's head. I was thinking about it right now. I'm like, this is interesting. We got a little bit of a delay here.
Our time allotted for witty banter and immaculate conversation with scintillating anecdotes is quite extended today.
Yes, that it is. We're here.
That's like $50 worth of words for you guys. So that's why you can open up a new tab on your browser.
Did you say you had like 2 math degrees? Like, what are you doing here, wordsmithing?
Not doing math, man. That's for sure.
Off the desk.
That is illegal. I don't know. Cannot do math on stream.
Yeah. Good thing that we haven't done that today. As the farthest we've gotten has been like, well, he needs one more win to force an ace match.
I just read the number of workers killed. That's why I'm super excited about whatever version of like GameHeart we have that like shows that to us. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually just so convenient. Otherwise, I'd have to like count probes, man.